Hello, EPP. RTD time edition for tonight. Headlines we have. The Arab State inaugurates a new mosque. For the national scene, forest fires in the south of the country in Spain. Went to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, proceeded this Friday to the inauguration of the new mosque, Jum'ali Abtidon, financed by Group Rush Salam Group. This new place of worship is composed of 3 floors with several prayers rooms, a large for men and another for women, but built an area of more than 1,900 square meters for a total capacity of more than 1,600 people. The mosque includes 2 minarets nearly 46 meters high, marking a dome estimated 27 meters and a large parking lot that has a capacity of more than 200 vehicles. الله يا ودود إلهي وأنت المعبود دلنا إليه المصير الله يا ودود. Upon his arrival, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, was welcomed by the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf Momin Hassan Barre and the CEO of Salam Group, Muhammad Ahmed Ali, as well as the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, as well as high ulama and religious figures. Then the President officially inaugurated this new mosque, which was put into services in order to significantly increase the level of religious building within reach of the inhabitants, especially in this blessed month of Ramadan. The general manager of the Buruj Group, Mr. Muhammad Khalifa, said in an interview that this new mosque in 1,900 square is composed 2 floors for men and women. This new mosque, named the Jum'ali Abtidon, is a place of worship with a capacity to accommodate 1,600 people and a parking lot of nearly 300 vehicles. This mosque constitutes a symbol and a place of prayers and invocations for this blessed month of Ramadan. The commissioning of this new mosque will significantly increase the level of religious buildings within the reach of citizens who from now on will enjoy the prospect of meeting in large numbers to practice their worship. For his part, the Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf Momin Hassan Barre said in an interview that this new mosque is distinguished by its unique architectural style, which covers an area of 1,900 meters square and is a very important place of worship, especially during the blessed month of Ramadan. The Minister of Muslim Affairs added in his interview that this mosque, which is financed by the Salam Group, is a religious monument that meets the criteria and the standards of a large mosque with a capacity of 1,600 people. This mosque is a symbol of unity and will allow many Egyptians to make their prayers and religious invocation in this blessed month of Ramadan. As part of the activities in honor of the blessed month of Ramadan, the International Investment Bank organized a collective iftar evening and award ceremony for the bank's customers at the Sheraton Hotel. The highlight of this award ceremony and collective iftar was this moment of sharing and blessing in the conviviality and the spiritual elevations with all the guests. This ceremony took part in the general managers of the bank, IIB, Mr. Raja Dusoye, the persons in charge of the public institution, the employees of the bank, and the customers of the bank, IIB. This evening was composed of several stages, such as a draw of gifts and also an honor to the employees who proved their motivation, dynamism, and punctuality during the years. This blessed month was an opportunity to meet, to create a harmony of relaxations, motivations, and courage for all customers of the bank and staff. The managers present on the spot gave the prizes from the hands of the winners. Under the auspices of the Secretary of State for Sports, the use of the Balbala district launched last night at the King Fahad Sports Complex the Ramadan volleyball tournament. Through this blessed month, a dozen talented teams will take part in this tournament that does not yet say its favorite. Volleyball is a popular sport in Djibouti, and this tournament can help promote the sports and stimulate the interests of young people for these disciplines. In addition, the month of Ramadan is a time of gathering and prayers for Muslims. Sports can help build the community spirit and solidarity. A sport competition during the month of Ramadan are also a tradition in many Muslim countries, and this volleyball tournament can help continue that traditions in Djibouti. Following the example of the rest of the country, it is the turn of the Dakhil region as part of the activities of the month of Ramadan that the Sub-Directorate Regional of the Ministry of Youth and Cultures of Dakhil, in close collaboration with the Regional Council of Dakhil, launched the Ramadan tournament in the CDC of As'ila. More than 12 teams participating in the tournament. The event was attended by the high authorities of the regions, namely the President and Vice President of the Regional Council, Mahad Hussein Ahmad, and Ibrahim Gura, as well as the sub-prefect of As'ila, the Deputy Regional Director of the Minister of Culture, the captains of the police of the regions, and the elected officials of the locality. This kind of tournament of sports of leisure is a way of peace, social integration, so it allows reinforcing the social cohesion, the living together, so that we link of fraternity, solidarity, also the realization of a harmonious community of life. Faced with the resurgence of road accident, the National Police started last night large-scale road control operations spread over several road blocks throughout the capital. The police officers of the road safety, assisted by the elements of the intervention companies, carried out controls until very late in the night. These large-scale operations undertaken by the National Police aim to ensure the safety of our population and thus ensure a drastic decrease in the number of road accidents. Indeed, it has been noticed that motorists indulge in dangerous practices but not respecting the light, and thus they endanger the lives of our fellow citizens. This situation is with the immobilization of about 40 vehicles. 40 vehicles stopped for various offenses such as the non-respect of the traffic light, the tinted windows, the excessive speed, the defect of insurance, and all the immobilized vehicles were immediately taken to Nagad. It is to be reminded that these operations will continue, and this reason drivers are asked to strictly respect the traffic light and the rules of the highway code of our country. Finally, the National Police wishes to inform the population that zero tolerance is now in force and urges the drivers of all vehicles to respect the traffic rules. As part of the fight against crimes and insecurity, the National Police carried out daily actions to fight against delinquency in all its forms. It is in this sense that at the beginning of the week, the elements of intervention companies of the National Police and those of the public security carried out large-scale operations, which is in strict accordance with the directives of the General Directions of National Police, which the fight against drugs and major priority. During this operation, the men of public security department, reinforced by the elements of the intervention company, targeted all the gathering and the different sectors identified as being cannabis storage, distribution points. A total of 26 individuals were arrested, machetes, knives, and some of monies of more than 15,000 and about 14 caps of cannabis were seized. These individuals were engaged in turf war and terrorized the local residents. The fight against insecurity and crimes remains a priority for the national police. It should be remembered that the possession, sale, and distribution of drugs are severely punished by the Djibouti law. All the people arrested during this operation were presented before the prosecutor's office to answer for their actions. The gendarmes of the PK 12 North Brigade had to use considerably human and material resources this Wednesday, April 5, 2023, to put an end to the activities of a criminal group that had set up shop in the PK 12 sector. This is the result of a long investigation that was marked by the arrest of 6 alleged members of the organized gang that was very active in the towns of Balbala and specialized in extortions with the weapons of dozens. The search carried out in a room used as a drop-off point for the alleged perpetrators allowed the investigator to seize 25 cell phones of different brands, a cash sums of 100,000 Djibouti franc, a knife, and 2 semi-automatic alarm guns. It should be noted that these weapons were used by the accused in the conduct of their criminal project in order to create a climate of fear among their victims. Placed in custody, the suspects have admitted to more than 100 assaults and acts of extortion with the weapons. At the end of the investigation, they will be brought to justice to answer for their acts. Once again, the Gendarmerie Nationale recommends the population for the permanent availability of the toll-free numbers 116 in order to report any act of aggression is perpetrated against it. It is also important to avoid the dark and isolated places during the late hours of the night. For the international scene, Africa, under the leadership of the African Union, wants to devote space knowledge to the development of its infrastructure. The ambitions of space conquest of Africa are confirmed since the opening of and operationalization of the African Space Agency, January 25, 2023. This agency of the African Union has the mission is to promote and develop the development and use of space sciences and technology in Africa. The stakes in the development of space sciences and technology in Africa are numerous. The ambitions of space conquest of Africa are confirmed since the opening and operationalizations of the African Space Agency, January 25, 2023. This agency of the African Union has the mission is to promote and coordinate the development of the use of space. The mission is on the continent to ensure basic data information service and product. And to close up this edition, Spain forest fires in the south of the country. Fighters were deployed to battle a wind-led forest fires that broke out in mountainous areas of Tarifa, a municipality in the Spanish province of Cadiz. Wednesday, April 5, Canada joined the firefighters' effort while ground crews continue to work through the night to fight the fire, said Andalusian's forest fire extinguishing services. A severe winter drought is currently affecting much of the southern Europe. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.